Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. What's up, everybody? We're back on our next part of our tutorial series. I know it's been a minute. Had some life things that kept me away from it, but we back. I actually done this already. In this part was I set up the animation blueprint, and the animation Blendspace. But we're gonna do it again because I felt like I was rambling a bit too much and I was going a bit all over the place in that tutorial. So we're gonna start over from scratch. So we're gonna make our first thing we want to do is our animation Blendspace. So let's go ahead and do this. Animation Blendspace. And we're going to use the skeleton that is for our RPG heroes. When you make yours, you would choose the correct skeleton, obviously, as well. So we're going to call this Aki replace. We'll do rep BS. We'll do no weapon. And eventually I'm going to delete this anyway, the old one. But yeah. So we're going to open this up. Pull it over to the main screen. We're going to do everything on this screen today. All right. So here we have our Blendspace. And this is our x-axis and this is our y-axis. So when we do the Blendspace, this x-axis is going to represent our direction, as in where we're going left or right or backwards or forwards. And this top one, our y-axis, is going to represent our speed. So let's go ahead and label it as such. We're going to name our horizontal axis direction. We'll name our vertical axis speed. And our maximum value, we'll have it match our actual character. Oops. Sorry about that. We'll have it match. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. We'll have this speed match our actual RPG character. So let's go back and see what he is. Characters, player characters, Aki. Drag it over here. I got a few different tabs. Let's combine these. And we'll go to our character movement, check the speed. All right, so our max walk speed is 600. If we go back and change it, that's fine as well. So maximum speed, 600. And our directions, we're going to do negative 180 on the left and then 180 on the right. So we're going to do this. We're going to go to let's see what animations I use for this. Our idle is obviously going to be right in the middle because we're doing nothing there. So let's go ahead and go back here. We'll check out our idle. Idle. No weapon animations. We're going to do that. 0, 0. Then we're going to do back. Whoops, did not mean to do that. And I went to the wrong thing. Let's go back to our Blendspace, the replacement one. Walk back. Battle walk backwards. Battle walk backwards. Battle walk backwards. Copy that. Then we're going to do our walk forward. Oops. Walk. No weapon. We'll do battle walk, no weapon. I like the battle walk. Battle walk, no weapon forward. Direction is 0. Excuse me. These right here, I'm sorry. The backwards should go here. Sorry about that. The backwards should definitely be at the top right. And let me double check to make sure I'm doing that correct. Yeah, because this is when, like when we're going, I'll explain it. When we're going 180, either way, 180 forward or positive 180 or negative 180, that means we're going backwards in that direction. And we're going at 600 speed, so we need to be walking backwards. When we're going 90, that means we're going to the right. And we're going negative 90, that means we're going to the left. So let's do walk right. Walk right. Boom. Positive 90. Oops. 90. And then we'll do walk left. Walk left, no weapon. Battle walk, no left. And I'm doing negative 90. And then we'll do idle, no weapon for all of that. Idle, no weapon. There we go. And I believe that's all set up identically. So now if you see he's got 0 speed, he's going to always be idling. But then if he walks forward, he'll look like this. Going towards the right, he'll look like this. Going towards the left, then going backwards. And that's our speed right there. Boom. So we got that all the way set up. We're good to go on that. Yeah, one thing I did on the original video, I actually made a mistake. That's why I said we're going to just redo it. I couldn't remember what I did wrong. But here we go. All right, so we're done with our blend space. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Now we're going to create another animation blueprint to replace this one. Animation blueprint. We'll get our same skeleton that we've been using. Aki rep. This is a replacement. Aki rep Anim BP. Boom. So we'll open this right on up. Drag it over here. Drag it over here. I'll try that again. All right. So this part is obviously our output pose. It tells our skeleton what to output and what it should be doing. And our event graph is going to have like a lot of our logic of where it's getting it from. So we're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to need our initialize. That means when it starts. Initialize animation. Call that out. We'll do get owning actor. Cast to Aki. Oops. We'll get that. We'll promote to our reference. Aki ref. And you don't have to do this part, but you can. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Get character movement. Yeah, you don't have to do this because you can really just do this. Aki reference get and then character movement. Yeah, but if you want to, you can condense it. So we'll do that. And then we'll keep this. Matter of fact, I'm not going to do it. How about that? I don't want to do it. So we'll go here. Then we'll go down to our update animation. We'll need this. Get Aki reference. Convert this to validated. There we go. So if it's valid, we want to go ahead and update our animation. If it's not valid, we don't want to do anything. This prevents a lot of failures. It's just, good practice. Let's go. Because I'm pretty sure if you've ever used Unreal Engine before, you do a cast or something to get value, and then after you test it and close, there's all these errors, but it looked like it worked. It's because at a certain point in time, there was no value for that reference. So we only want to do something if it's valid. So we'll go to sequence. We'll get our Aki reference. Get. Then we'll do character movement. We'll get our velocity. Get velocity. And we'll set this, promote this to a variable. And we'll call this speed. Sequence. And then we need to calculate direction. So from our Aki reference, we're going to get actor rotation and then calculate the direction. And then we'll set this value, promote to variable, direction. So this will give us our value of where he's going, like how we did on the animation blueprint, where it said negative 180 is backwards, 180 is backwards, 90 is right, negative 90 is left, and 0 is forward. And then if he's got 0 plus some speed, that means we know he's walking forward. 90 plus speed means he's walking right. So this will give us our direction. Boom. We got that all set up and ready to go. Next, we're going to need to calculate. You don't have to do this part, but it was done in the default mannequin, and I'll show you why. Get current acceleration, but we're going to do it as well, is greater than or does not equal 0. If it does not equal 0 and our speed, so then we're going to get our speed, get XY length. That's all we need. XY length, vector length XY. I got that all the way wrong. Greater than, we'll say 3. And I'll explain what this does in a minute. And sorry if I'm going too fast. And promote to variable should move. And I'll explain what this does right now. Okay. So we're going to get our character moving, and we're going to get the acceleration. If the acceleration does not equal 0, we're going to have that to be true. But if it's going a minimum speed of 3, we'll say that's true, and then it say it should move. Because there could be cases where it's moving at like a very, very slow rate, and we don't want to have to go through our animations or something. So that's what that means. If it's not doing that, then if it's not moving at a minimum speed, we're not going to even worry about, checking the animation because of how slow it's moving. All right. And here's where we can get our Aki reference. Now this is where we can set up our own personal things that we did. We can get our jumping. Get jumping. We can do our can double jump. I had to remember my references. It's been a minute since I opened this game, if y'all can't tell. And then we'll get, it's for the character movement. And you don't even have to really promote these to variable, because you can do it in the graph. But the only thing you shouldn't do in the animation graph, like when we get here, you shouldn't really call your character movement there. It creates error messages. Let's copy this, paste here, move here. Is falling, and we'll just do this on promote to variable. Is falling, and we'll promote it to variable. Why not? Make it simple. Is jumping, boom, and then we'll promote this to a variable. Can double jump. Boom. We got 3 variables set up. Boom, boom, boom. And this will get longer and longer and longer and longer the more stuff we add, but we're going to keep it as simple as possible. And we have everything we need in our event graph. So now we'll go back to our animation graph. And what we're going to do is we're going to call a slot. All right. There's 2 different ways that we can do this, but I'm going to do this like this for now, but I might go back and change it. So when we're like, if we were to make our character walk and swing, for example, we have animations where someone can walk or attack. Let me show you what I mean. All right. Sorry about that, guys. My neighbor's dogs and car alarms and stuff started going off. All right. So the point I was trying to explain is that we're going to set this up with a slot group like this. And slot groups only call a selected group in the character's bones or the static mesh's bones. So the reason why it might be useful to do it now, we'll just have it set up just in case. Because as you can see in this animation, he's attacking, but he's not walking. So if we ever have a situation where we want the player to be able to walk and attack, we'll need to run 2 separate animations. One for his legs, that's letting him walk, and then one for the top half of his spine that'll let him attack. And there's different ways you can do it, but the way that's become that I've seen most people do it now is with slot groups. They'll have an upper body slot group, call the animation for the attack, and a lower body slot group control the legs. So we'll just get started like that for now. So we'll go slot group, And then we'll call a, let's call a different state machine, because I want to have, there may be a chance, a time where we have no weapon, a time we have a sword, a time we have an arrow. So we want to have different state machines and blend them together. So let's do a state machine. We'll call this a no wep locomotion. And then we'll go oppose. Locomotion pose is what it's called. What is it called? Pose. Live. It's not that. It's not that. What is this called? New save cash pose. I couldn't think for a moment. No wep cash pose. I could not think for a moment. I had a brain fart. So we get up in here, and we're going to call our state. This is going to be our idle state. And we're going to call another state, which is going to be our walking state. Then we're going to call another state, which is going to be, actually, no, hold on. State, land. Now we got a motorcycle going by, but I'm gonna tough this one out. So our land, we want our land to go to idle or walk, and these two are gonna have to communicate to each other. And I need a state alias, landing, and I'll explain what this does in a second. We're gonna do state alias landing. Oops. Will you please? Thank you. All right, now we're going to do another state. This is our jump loop. I'll explain everything in a second. Jump loop to jump. Wait, state machine to jump. And we wanted to go to communicate back and forth, actually. Jump. And then we need a state alias again to falling, and we're gonna go here and go here. All right, so let's explain. When we first start in our state machine, we're gonna automatically go to idling, which is going to be our standard animation. Then when he walks, he'll go here. He'll go to these. Now you may be saying why these are disconnected. So when the player jumps, it'll jump to here, and then it'll decide, are we jumping or are we just falling? Because if we're just falling, like let's say if we walk off a cliff or something, instead of going here to the jumping animation, it'll go straight to here to the jump loop where he'll be like falling in the air. And then when he hits the ground, it'll shoot back to landing, and it'll go down to land when he hits the ground, and then it'll decide, are we walking again? Then we'll go here. And if we're just standing still, we'll go to idle. So I hope that was understandable. So we'll go here, and then we'll select idle and walk. And what this means is that both idling and walking can go here. If the correct conditions are met, it can go there. So for landing, we're going to decide for landing should be the jump and the jump loop. The jump loop. So these two, if the correct conditions are met, can jump to here and communicate here. So that's how it's all going to go. All right, so in our idling, we're going to need to do this. We're going to call our no weapon idle, no weapon, boom, just like that. Compile. Let's go back, and we're going to keep getting errors until this is fully set up. So in our walking, we're going to actually call our Blendspace. Blendspace. We'll need this, convert the speed. Why is our speed actually a float? Is that normal? So I thought our speed was supposed to be. Oh yeah, no. I'm right. I'm right. Speed. Get vector linked. And that'll be our speed. And then we'll get our direction from our blueprint. Compile and save. Just ignore the errors for now. Then our landing animation will be what's the name of it? Our landing animation. Jump. Do we have a landing animation? Jump end. Jump in the weapon. Okay, boom. Go back. Then our jumping loop will be jump, no weapon, air. That means it's looping in the air. Jump, no weapon, air. And obviously you set this up with the animations that you have available to you. Either you get them on Mixamo or whatever you get them off of. So just kind of plug and play. And it's a good thing, honestly, that you shouldn't follow. I personally don't believe you should ever follow tutorials on a one-to-one basis, unless it's just like so basic that if doing it any other way would be dumb. My stepson just sneezed. But yeah, you have to, oh yeah, my bad, brain fart. But if you shouldn't follow a tutorial unless it's like the most basic way of doing it, that it would be kind of counterintuitive to do it any other way, unless it's telling you the proper way to do it. But you can literally you should make your own way, understand how you're doing it, so you can really say, I know what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So let's do this. Jump, start, no weapon. Boom. We've got all our animations in. Now we're going to add our logic. So our logic for the walking is just simply should move. Now let's go back, and our walking for this get should. Wait, excuse me, not should. Not. If should move, not that. Not. If it's not true, if we should not be moving, you should go back to the idle. Simple as that. So now landing is, what will be our transition for landing? Oh yeah, should not. It's the same thing. So if someone lands and they're not moving, they're going to go to idle. Now let's go back here. Now let's do should move. Boom. Just that simple. So if they land and they should move, go to walking. If they land and they should not move, go to idle. If they should move, send them to walking. If they should not move, send them back to idling. And we set up that logic in our event graph. If the acceleration is above 0 and the speed is above 3, they're moving. All right. So now what do we do to falling? To falling is let me check what I did before. Get is falling and is falling and get is jumping. Sorry, everybody's my stepson with me. It's jumping. Not. If they're falling and they're not jumping, they're just falling. It's jumping, and if there is falling and they are jumping, then we'll go here. Boom. Simple as that. Now for the jumping, it can, oh yeah, the reason why, ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that burp. The reason why most people, they wouldn't set it up like this. Your jumping would typically just transition to jump loop and it wouldn't go back, because more games often than not, you jump and then you're in the air. But our game, we want to be able to transition back and forth because you can double jump in our game. So we're going to transition back. And how did I set it up before? We're going to do can double jump And if that's not, because if we know if he can't double jump, he's not able to jump anymore. And okay, so I just checked my character. We have this that really can tell. Enable jumping. So if they're able to jump and then their double jump goes to not, we know that we just double jumped. So let's go back. And then this, actually, you don't really need a condition. This can actually just be an automatic rule. It's automatic rule base, true. And what that means is automatic rule base means once this jump is finished playing, it immediately goes here. And the only way it'll go back is if our double jump all of a sudden turns off. So, and then once it goes off, it transitions back after it's done playing. So let's go back to our animation graph. And then we're going to call our state machine. We'll call this the main state machine. Then we'll go into here. And we're going to call, for now, we're going to have to go back and change this. But for now, we're going to call our no weapon. What did I name this thing? No weapon cash pose. State no wep cash pose. So we're going to go in here and we're going to call our no wep cash pose. Boom, ba-boom, boom, ba-boom, boom. And then we'll compile and save. Landing to Alhamdulillah. Excuse me. Landing to land will never be taken. Oh, yeah. I never set that up. So landing. What would be the call for that? Is falling. Is falling not. I believe that's what it should call. Not. Let me double check my old one. I'm double checking the old one so I don't make the same mistakes that I did last time. I believe that's what it is. Yep. Is falling not. And now we should have, as you can see, our animation is playing now on this side. We should have our graph fully set up. So let's go back to our character. My BP. Characters, player characters, Aki. Then we'll go in here and we'll look. We'll change his Aki. We'll change it to the replacement and a blueprint. Compile, save, and let's see if it's working. All right, everybody. So I figured out what I needed to do. I went in here and I got the can double jump and checked if it's not, because in our blueprint, it's always set to true until we actually double jump, then it turns off. So when that's not and you're still falling, which is the end, you can go back to jumping, as in double jump. Then I changed this. In the jumping start, I made it go faster because it looked a little too slow. By the time I actually finished the animation, I'm already landed. So I changed that to 5. I changed the jump looping animation to check loop animation right here. I also did that to my idle. I forgot to do that as well. I changed the looping animation to loop. So there's that. And then for our land, I changed this. This is still the same. I did the should move. Before going to idle, like if we're not moving, it's automatic rule based. If we are moving, it'll go here to walking. So now we'll check our animations and you'll see what I got going. So now when we walk, right, it goes right, left, back, forward, jump, jump. And you saw it play the animation again. And you're also looping when you fall. Then when you land, it does the falling animation. Boom, he lands. But if you're moving, it just goes back to walking. So there we go, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed that tutorial series. We're going to continue going. I didn't forget. I'm just going to continue going. I just got to sometimes, life happens. So I'll see y'all in the next part of the video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.